Hello, Ryan here, and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday. This is a weekly show which covers all of the news from the week just past. Be sure to subscribe if you like what you see, and let's get on with it. This week, Alpha 316 hits Wave 1 PTU. We are teased about a new hover vehicle, plus we get the lowdown on the upcoming 316 event, Jumptown 2.0. So before we begin, a quick 316 update. Alpha 316 has been pushed to the open PTU already, so basically everyone can access it so long as you have an account, but you have to voluntarily copy your account over and sign in to the PTU instead of the live PU. It is yet to have all of the features included that is listed on the release viewer, and currently only has the gravlev improvements, atmospheric bounties, and many changes to the lore system that I will talk about in a separate video, but it also has a ton of bug fixes, which is always a welcome sight. Plus, Jumptown 2.0 has kicked off its PTU testing. However, I personally have only had to play with the gravlev vehicles, and I've not tried Jumptown yet itself, so I can't say anything on anything else. Now, it is great to see 316 making its way so quick. Of course, we will see how it goes to get to live before Christmas. They always release the last patch of the year before Christmas. But there is still the updated derelict spaceship points of interest, the DNA head texture update, if that makes it in, Area 18's hospital, dying star map updates, mining gadgets, and laser trip mines yet to come. This week, I suspect they will try to push all of these features into the PU with a live release, most likely beginning of next week. And I will certainly be jumping into 316 on my stream today. It is twitch.tv/supermacbrother if you would like to check me out, where we can check everything out together. In particular, I will be taking a look at the gravlev improvements, as I did have a little go on it yesterday, and all I can say is that it's such a blast driving my Dragonfly at 200 meters a second across the ice at New Babbage. It is so much fun. There is room for improvement, but it is such a blast. We will talk about this more on stream, plus I will be making a video looking at the gravlev improvements, so do keep your eyes out for that. So this week's Inside Star Citizen kicked off taking a look at these upcoming changes to the gravlev rework. Now, they want the riding of a hoverbike to feel fast-paced and visceral, which in its current state is pretty rough and doesn't work very well with the many various types of planets and moons available. Now, this last quarter they had some time to really work out how they want gravlev to be, and so for 316 they have brought in a lot of improvements. Firstly, what they created was a new specialized suspension system, that's pretty difficult to say, which is similar to a car, but it also disconnects from the bike itself to provide more of a hovering feeling. Now, this allows them to move and orient the bike somewhat independently from the suspension in ways that they couldn't do it before. Personally, it did look a bit odd on the video with the bike sort of leaning forwards, like nosing towards the ground, but it does look like it handles much better than what we have right now, and as usual they will continue tweaking it to be exactly what they want it to be. It could just be that as they were filming it, the person was kind of nosing downwards. From there, they use the suspension system to implement more bike stability, so they don't crash or bottom out or go flying off into space, which makes it much smoother and more reliable and less glitchy. After that, they implemented improvements to the bike controls, like turning friction for example, which is very much improved and does look pretty incredible, being able to turn more accurately but still maintaining slight momentum for a small drift. It looks like it performs as it should, and I do like the idea of taking these corners a bit sharper than we used to be able to. But also height control is now going to be an option, allowing the player to adjust the height that they ride at, which in turn will affect things like speed. So the higher you are, the slower you will be, and the lower you are, the faster you will be. Which originally I didn't think made much sense, but in terms of gameplay and fun and that trade-off of risk-reward, as many of you were saying in the comments, it does make a lot of sense that the lower you are to the ground, the faster you can go, but the more susceptible you will be to hitting things, so giving you that reward if you are able to control it better. Now, they have a new system as well called anti-fall, which kicks in basically and stops the bike from smashing into the ground and destroying itself, which will be great for high altitude deployment. That'll probably be a lot of fun, being able to just have a C2 or any vehicle really that can hold a lot of dragonflies and jumping out the back. Finally, they have a new feature that will allow the bike to kind of relax into a lowered state on the floor for when you turn it off, and then when you jump on it and start it back up again, it'll softly just lift up. Now this alone is a great new feature. No more slamming your head into the roof of your ship as you are boarding your dragonflies, and hopefully if you jump off while it's powered on, you'll be able to get back on again without having to kind of jump from an angle and smash down the F key. Now personally, from what I can see here and what I've heard, I'm really eager to try it for myself. Hopefully this brings the next step into making these hoverbikes exciting and feel more like pod races, as the scope for use of these bikes is pretty huge, especially when more gameplay comes that will encourage people or even force people to approach on the ground. Not to mention the Daymar Rally and all the other kinds of racing and so on. It is great progress in my eyes, and I just want to jump in and try it. Also, on a side note, Jared did tease that there is a new gravlev vehicle coming soon, and if you want to learn more about what it is, then you'll have to follow along with the Luminalia festivities. Now, I have no idea what it is, or whether it will be straight to hoverable in 3.16 or just a concept. I'm assuming it will be straight to hoverable, but it does depend on its size, I guess. But I'm excited to see a new hover vehicle. It's not going to be the X1, as that is on the progress tracker and slated for its work to finish around sort of mid next year, I think. But do let me know what type of gravlev vehicle you would like to see. For me personally, I would love to see kind of like a hover cargo hauler. That would be great. Plus, they were hoping to get the cargo refactor done by the end of the year, so it could be something they were hoping to release alongside it, even if the refactor was pushed till next year. Anyway, moving on. Next up on Inside Star Citizen, they spoke about the upcoming 3.16 event, Jumptown 2.0. Now, this event will take place when 3.16 releases and will run on a schedule over the winter break, so coming on and off as and when they kind of trigger it, I guess. Now, there will be 3 locations. We have Raven's Roost on Calliope, Paradise Cove on Lyria, and of course, Jumptown on Yella. Each of these outposts have been kind of reimagined to create more of an FPS level with various new areas, just by looking at the images that we've seen of them. And during this event, there will be both legal and illegal opportunities or missions. For the illegal side, when you have a crime stat, you will receive a message from Ruto, one of the mission givers in the verse from Grim Hex, who informs you of a location that is spitting out very lucrative boxes of drugs, and you can go to this location and gather up those drugs and then take them to Grim Hex and sell them on for a pretty monstrous profit. Now, these are boxes that are physicalized and will need to be physically picked up or tracked into your ship and sold on. They're not using a commodity trade terminal to fill your ship up with. You need to pick them up and put them into your ship. For the legal mission, it's pretty much the same thing, but you're collecting the boxes for the various security forces where the labs are located and selling them back to terminals at the local admin office. Now, if you are doing the legal version and you get scanned by the police, it will recognize that you have a temporary license to carry the contraband on board and allow you to get on. Whether it works when you don't have a mission accepted, I can't imagine so, but we will find out. So basically how it works, you accept the mission, then you will be given a marker for where you can sell the drugs and the location of a drug lab which is producing the drugs. You don't need a mission to actually take part in the event, but you won't have the marker for the drug lab location, nor, as I say, would you be able to get past security scans. Now, this isn't CIG trying to recreate the original Jumptown bug situation. This is more CIG kind of paying homage to what happened and fully supporting it in the lore and creating a dynamic event out of it. This is going to be a nice addition for 3.16 to give those interested in taking part something to do. Personally, it's not something that I would generally be really interested in doing or running the missions. I'm sure I'll do it sometime during the event and of course on stream, most likely. But what I'm interested in is utilizing it in some way for the org, like training in reconnaissance and just watching what's happening and taking note kind of thing. Now, what I'm most interested in knowing, though, is whether this event will be making use of the quantum simulation. Tony Zurovec mentioned recently during his CitizenCon panel that they remain on track to have the quantum simulation controlling a few select bits of the universe for 3.16. These are his exact words. And as Tony Z puts it, this initial release will allow quantum to dictate encounter frequencies, the prices of 3 commodities, and everything related to combat assistance beacons. Now, it was also mentioned in the October monthly report that Tony Z and his team, the Systemic Services and Tools team, they had completed their work and were now spending the rest of the time just polishing and optimizing. So to me, it does sound like there will be more to 3.16 than we know, and whether Jumptown 2.0 will be utilizing any of these systems is yet to be seen, but that is what I'm mostly interested in hearing about, and whether we hear about this after 3.16 is released or during its release, we will find out, but I'm quite excited to see what the end of the year can bring. Anyway, that was Inside Star Citizen. Let us move on. Also this week, subscribers get a Virgil Sanga helmet and Morozov heavy armor, plus access to the Argomol multi-crew mining vessel for the month. The narrative team brought us another Lawmakers Q&A, which is always great to delve into. Plus, we have the Misk Odyssey Q&A answering all of our burning questions regarding the Odyssey. I will talk further about this ship in a dedicated video rather than go through it on today's video, but the answers were pretty much what I was expecting anyway. So that brings us to the end of the show. If you do enjoy my content, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. Also, I am able to do this thanks to my very generous patrons and channel members. If you appreciate what I do and would like to help make it even better from as little as $1 a month, all of the links are provided below.